Beef Jetski, and we are all tuned in today to The Scoop. I want to remind all you fine folk out there that The Scoop is what keeps you in the loop. And tonight we got one hell of a fine show for all you ladies and gentlemen out there. I am so excited, in fact, to have a distinguished set of guests waiting outside in my waiting room. And, we don't want to waste a lot of time because we got a lot of things to talk about. We got a lot of people who want to say their piece. And I want to make sure we give all the time we can to these wonderful individuals that have taken time out of their hard day to come and talk with Beef Jetski here. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to everyone in the waiting room waiting so patiently for your turn to say your piece. And without further ado, I'd like to invite my first guest on into the show. Come on in and say hello to the county.
Hello. Hi.
Hello there, Maisie. It's good to see you again. Welcome back. It's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be back again. I love coming on here.
Oh, we love having you on. It's a real pleasure. I know you probably got a lot of things to talk about, so please, the floor is yours. Tell the good people out in the county what they need to know.
All right, so first of all, I want to advertise my maps. I do make maps. The Maisie maps is what I call them. Currently, I have 2 maps up. I just posted another map up on the bulletins around the county. The first map is just settlements, and if you have a settlement you would like added, please either contact me on Radio 411 with information on where your settlement is and the name and the frequency you'd like added, or you can fax me. All the information is on the bulletin. The second map is new. I just made this map, and it's of mystery locations. So these are locations that I've gone around and found. I've only found 3 so far. The first location was actually sent to me by someone. It was actually that radio tower that was taken over by the Raiders.
The goddamn Larry's making all that noise and the hubbub on the radio talking a bunch of shit.
That's the second thing I want to talk about, But first, I want to discuss my maps. But the second 2 locations they're both by the Southwest Station. One of them looks like it's a locked-up hospital. Maybe a quarantine zone of some sort. I'm not sure. That's kind of what the sign in front of it said. And then the second location is right by that. I don't know if it's some sort of control center for it. I have no idea. But it's panic attack.
Oh, I get those too. They're real pain in the ass.
But yeah, I'm not sure what they are. They're locked up, so I'm not sure what purpose they serve, why they're locked up, but if they're anything like that radio tower that we found and marked, then they have some significant meaning. So that's the second reason I wanted to come in here and talk about those Larrys and that transmission that came after.
Indeed. Quite the disturbing development, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, so, they got hold of the Finnegan radio channel, which isn't hard, but, they hopped on our channel and were talking about suits. I don't know what the suits are, but, the entire time we were down there, they kept calling someone a suit or calling out to the suits. And it kind of sounds like they were working for someone, someone bigger than them. Bigger than us.
Like some kind of boss suit or something.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if any of the other people that are going to come talk on the radio have any more info on that. But it definitely, that's why I want to find all these locations and why I want people to send me their locations that they find that are locked up. What significance do these locations have? Why is there so many locked up gated spots around the county? What the...
Yeah, it's a real panic-filled night. All this talking about locked-up locations and put shivering down my spine, too.
Yeah, geez. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, so I want to know, what do all these places have in common? I want to investigate as many as I can, try to get to the bottom of this in the way that I know how, while others do their part. Because there's something going on, something fishy. And that transmission, the guy talking about, what was it? He had Rupert handing him, a vial of some sort and, infecting. What was that about?
Yeah, it sounds like, I'm not gonna lie, that poor grouper gentleman on the radio
Yeah, free
sounds
that
like
poor grouper.
yeah, free grouper guys. I think that guy is probably just, under some kind of duress or something. That what's his name? Dr. Volkov or Dr. something, Dr. Volkov or whatever. I wasn't paying much attention. I'm not gonna lie, I was half asleep during that. But yeah, that guy sounds like a
Yeah.
real asshole. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and he sounds like he's doing something no good. I don't like whatever he's up to. I could not. I listened to his transmission like 3 times. I recorded it on a little tape, and what the fuck was he talking about? It was incoherent blabber, but I did not like the sound of it. So I want to figure out, first of all, where the hell he is. Is he in like that quarantine zone? Is he working there? Maybe not, but he's got to be working somewhere around here. I want to find him and figure out what the hell he's up to.
Yeah, no, that's a real good point because, he's talking about like some kind of like, evolution or, having people succumb or, or give in to these supposed mutations or whatever. He doesn't seem to like
Yeah.
us calling them zombies. He said that's some kind of a pedantic, term for them. But,
Yeah.
I see a spade. I'm going to call it a spade. That's how things are around these parts.
Yeah, whatever the reason, I don't like him. I don't know who that man is, but I don't like him, and I want to find him, and I want to figure out what the hell he's doing.
Well, I gotta say, he
So that's
sounds
what
like a
yeah.
He sounds like a mighty nefarious individual with his all his jib jab about mutations and being some kind. He sounds like some kind of mad scientist or something like that. I don't know, but I don't
He
like the cut of that
does.
guy's jib. He sounds like a real fucking asshole.
He absolutely does. So
And you
if
mentioned
you
these.
have any information
Yeah, go
on
ahead.
locations, send it to me as soon as you can.
So you
I'll mark
mentioned
it on my map.
there's like
Come.
facilities around, or like you're finding compounds and stuff like the people gotta know about these compounds, and we gotta put the pieces together because everyone has a piece of the puzzle. And it's only when
Exactly.
we put them together we can know what the whole picture is.
Yeah, like, oh, and that reminds me, I need to go down to Losertown, I mean Fort Redstone, and figure out, like, because that's another locked up place. Why is that locked up? Why did they got those running zombies in there? What's going on down there?
Well, that's a really interesting point of contention because, there's a lot of stuff going on with that National Guard. People have been listening to the show for a while
Mm-hmm.
now. They know I never really fully trusted those guys. And tonight, in fact, we have a very, very special guest here on the show. We have some
Ooh.
people from the TMR who, whatever you think about them, they took matters into their own hands. They're men and women of action, and they decided to attack the National Guard. And we're going to be having a spirited conversation about those actions that they were taking, because I'm sure they got a good reason for doing what they gone did, and we're going to hear a lot more about that later. So I want everyone to stay tuned for that conversation, because I'm sure it's going to be a lively one.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait to hear that.
Indeed, indeed. So everyone out there, you listening right now, you make sure if you find any strange facilities or compounds or buildings, things maybe that don't really look like they're ordinary, or something that's like sticking out about them, you make sure you get in touch with Maisie now. You get those locations on the map, because only when we start to put these puzzle pieces together we can know what the picture is.
Yup.
Hell yeah, Maisie. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything else you want to tell the fine people of the county tonight?
Stay safe. Always check behind you. Stay hydrated. Do not forget your radio. I've done that 2 times today. Keep your radios on you. And that is all. Thank you so much, Beef.
Well, that is great advice. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everyone coming on the show tonight and talking about these things. These are real important matters, and that the people of this county, they really gotta know what the hell is going on. And remember, the scoop is what keeps you in the loop. And without further ado, because we got so many people to talk to tonight, I want to invite in our next guest to come on, take the floor, and tell the people of this county what they knew. Please, next guest, come on in. Hello. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I do appreciate having you again. Please say hello to the people. Introduce yourself to the fine folks out in the county.
Hello everyone, I'm Eleanor. I'm here to talk a little bit about car thieves and Shady
Oh,
Terry and that shit.
there's scourge in this county, I'll tell you. Car thieves going around. I had my car stolen not long ago, and thanks to the reputable, good Shady Terror, I was able to get my car back. It cost me a pretty penny, but you know, at least I got my car now.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I heard about that. And I tried to give you some information, but they got your car back first. Because one thing about Shady Terry's is it's really easy to hide in there, and you can really easily listen into conversations. You can figure out who the car thieves are. You can just sit around there because you gotta give your real name to Terry, right? I'm pretty sure. You just gotta.
I guess that's the case, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
you're a
have too
spy.
many business dealings with Shady Terror, Tomas. I pass by his
I mean,
place
as
every
far as
day.
I know, according to his rules I read, you gotta submit your name, but they won't tell it to anyone.
Interesting, interesting. So you're talking about, like I know that, a lot of people who are the fine folk out there in the county, they've parked their cars right here at the Goldenrod Inn. It's some people just can't help themselves. They got those sticky fingers and they're coming in and grabbing things that don't belong to them. It is truly a scourge in this county. And,
Yeah.
what do you got to say about that?
I'm not gonna say we kill Terry or anything. And I'm not gonna say boycott, because that's not gonna work. People are always gonna go to Terry. People are always gonna sell to Terry. I think we gotta fuck with the clerks. We gotta fuck with the clerks, the cashiers. I don't want to kill him. He's not. Have you ever seen him run his business? Never. I've never seen him run his business.
Well, he is a
You only
shady
see
character.
Ion.
He's hiding in the shadows, perhaps. Maybe that's not just a clever name, you know?
That's true. That is true. That is true. But regardless, Ion and Champ, they're both people who I only see running the shop, and they're the only people who are out there actively buying stolen things, and fucking everyone else in the county over. And we can't. The Shady Terry rules say no violence in there, but what are they gonna do when 6 people rock up with assault rifles?
Well, I
Like,
always thought
you
that,
can't. There's only 3 people working there.
I guess that's true. I just always thought that maybe, violence just begets more violence. So it could become just an escalating situation where people are just going after each other. And, we don't need that here in Lake Ivy. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. The people of Lake Ivy deserve some peace and quiet and, to live their lives in freedom. So I really do hope that if the car thieves are out there and they're listening right now, you better think twice about trying to fucking take my car again. I'm telling you, I'm ready for you. I'm ready for those cars.
Oh, I know who took your car.
Well, we'll get to. Maybe we won't air that on them because I don't want them to know I'm coming. If you know what I mean. The shadows. I'm gonna. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, do you propose there's anything that we can do about these car thieves to kind of like stop the escalation of tomfoolery that's been going on?
There's 2 things. I think we should. What's the word? We should set up stings. Hide behind a bush or something. Set a car out. Then you've got a guy who you know is a thief, and
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I think
But-
the police do that.
Yeah, no,
Use,
I've
like,
been doing
big
that myself.
cars. Yeah, you leave a nice little $100 bill in the middle of the road. And you just keep an eye on it. Someone's gonna come pick it up, and bam, you got him. You just got him right then and there. And I want you, those fucking car thieves. You try and steal my car? I'm in the goddamn bushes. I'm looking at you. I'm waiting for you. I'm gonna get you. Anyway. Okay. So you're saying we
and the
gotta
major second thing we didn't know. Everyone needs to know their right. It's a thing. Everyone needs to know their rights. You can't. If they're just sitting around your car, you can't shoot them. The moment they start hot wiring, don't be afraid to just set a gun out. They're if you don't stop them, they're just gonna take the car. If they're in the middle of attaching your car to theirs, just stop them. Like, I know oftentimes that happens out of your sight. If they're trying to steal your car when you're getting towed, you can't really do much about it. But if they're trying to get in, take your battery out. It feels like everyone I know does not take their battery out of their car when they leave them alone. Because people just get in your car. This is an inevitable truth. People are going to always try to steal. You guys gotta stop it. And if a lot of it is, obviously the car thieves are terrible. But everyone needs to do better to stop the car thieves.
Indeed, indeed. I'll share a little bit of wisdom from good old Beef Jetski here. I learned a trick from a very, very smart individual once on how you can better protect your vehicle. Now, in order for this to work, you need to make sure that it's got a little bit of armor on it and that they can't, get in the other seats. But, if you literally take the fucking seat out of your car, because people, they can find, a lot of car thieves carry batteries in their backpacks. It's a lot harder to carry a car seat for that particular model in your backpack. So if you take your car seat out, you can take it with you, or you can hide it somewhere, and it makes it a lot more difficult for someone to get in the driver's seat and take off with that vehicle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you could do a similar thing with your wheels. You only get, carry a jack in your car, carry a jack and a lug wrench, and then just, when you go out and leave with your car, take the jack with you. Nobody carries a 2-pound jack with them. And, because jacks are, one, they're fairly rare, and two, they're, all that. People are gonna carry a lug wrench. They're not going to, it's like a weird thing to carry with you if you don't have a jack, but...
Well, those car themes seem to be industrious.
You can take all sorts of car things out.
They seem to have the tools.
And also, taking the wheels out also make it so you can't tow it. So...
Indeed, indeed. We've been discussing trying to set up some kind of secure parking here at the Goldenrod, and sometimes it's difficult to do so and accommodate everyone. But
you can just hide in the hedge outside and protect your cars there if you need to. I'm just gonna say that there.
That's an excellent point. Well, listen, folks, you gotta watch out for the car thieves. You gotta take matters into your own hands, and as my friend here said, you gotta know your rights. And it is your right to defend your property. This is America, after all. So if you see a car thief driving off with your car, you just pull your rifle out, you start bang, 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 and they're gonna be dead in no time. So, defend your shit is what I'm trying to say. Beef Jetski way, okay? Well, I really appreciate coming on the show and educating the people out there and tell them to watch out for their stuff. So, if you got anything last to say before we move on to our next guest.
Jenny, you're a thief and a rat bastard.
All right, well, that's very fair. All right, well, thank you for coming on the show. I do appreciate it. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are still tuned in, we have a fucking fine, distinguished group of guests coming up here in a moment. And I just want to remind all you fine folk that we got a lot to talk about tonight, so stay tuned, because we got some important developments, we got some important conversations. And speaking of important, we got another guest just sidling on up here, real sneaky-like, which I love to see. Oh, it's so good to have you. It's good to have you. So please, like it always goes, just introduce yourself to the county, introduce yourself to the people out there, and let's get this show on the road.
I'm Hardy Big!
Oh,
I'm a big guy! I'm Hardy Big!
Oh, Hardy Big, it is great to have you on the show. I just want to remind everyone that, I'm your host, Beef Jetski, and today we got such a treat for you. We got Mr. Hardy Big, the director himself at the Pearly Gates Nursing Home. Oh, welcome to the show, Hardy.
Let them age with dignity here at the Pearly Gates Nursing Home.
Yeah, well, your dignity is important, Hardy. I mean, we all want to age gracefully, except for me. I plan to go on a flaming jet ski accident. But enough about me. I'm curious, what makes the Pearly Gates stand out from other facilities out there?
Finest goddamn nursing home this county's ever seen, by God!
Yeah, well, those are some strong words. Now, folks out there, they've been whispering about odd occurrences, patients reporting strange symptoms and staff looking, kind of uneasy there. Is there any truth to that?
There's no goddamn cooties, it's just a rash!
Yeah, a rash. Well, what kind of rash are we talking about?
Contact dermatitis!
Yeah, okay, but is just rash spreading or?
Contact dermatitis!
I mean, that's not all right. We'll move on here now. Hardy, a big part of running a facility like yours is keeping the lights on. I could imagine just making sure people are have clothed and fed. And I gotta ask you, man, how do you do it?
Who do you think keeps the lights on around here?
Well, I mean, I suppose you do, given what you just said.
There isn't anything suspicious about me.
I mean, I never said there was, my guy, but that's an interesting way to respond. You know, speaking of interesting, I heard something about some, missing supply shipments.
Nobody steals from the pearly gates!
Right, but I mean, hypothetically, if someone did.
$100 to whoever steals that guy's shoes!
Well, you putting a bounty on footwear?
You want a job around here? You looking for work?
I mean, that's not much of an answer, but also, no, I do appreciate the offer. You know, what kind of job are we talking about anyway?
Wait, are we robbing a humanitarian group?
Are you?
That's right, by God!
Okay, I feel like we might have just hit a fork in the road and, you took the turn labeled federal investigation pending. So let's change gears here. Any hobbies you got, Hardy, outside of running this fine nursing home of yours?
Hey, man, you got any propane?
No, I don't have any propane on me right now, Hardy. Wait. No, I don't got no propane.
Where is my Spitfo suit? It's a rental. Man, take me to the Pearly Gates nursing home.
I was under the impression that you already worked there, Hardy.
The finest goddamn nursing home this county's ever seen, by God!
All right. I mean, I think we might be losing the plot a little bit, Hardy. Is there anything suspicious going on at the Pearly Gates right now?
There isn't anything suspicious about me.
Yeah, but again, hypothetically speaking.
Don't talk to the media. Don't talk to the media, damn it.
I mean,
Who's been talking to the reporters?
Hardy,
Who's been talking to the media?
I am a reporter, Hardy. This is a radio interview. You agreed to be here.
Dylan! Where you at, Dylan? Dylan, can you hear me?
Who's Dylan?
I just got a cold.
I mean, that's not really the question I asked, but okay, one last chance, Hardy. You got any final words for the fine
$100
people?
to whoever steals that guy's shoes.
No, okay. I think that's it. We're done, folks. This has been the scoop, and
I'm Hardy Big.
Yeah, no, you said
I'm
that.
a big guy.
You said
I'm
that.
Hardy Big.
Excellent. Well, that was I suppose that was an illuminating interview for everyone out there. That was definitely the real Hardy Big. And I just want to remind everyone that if you do have any old people in your community that you need to, seek convalescence and age and dignity, Hardy Big will take real good care of them. Yeah, he's a good man, despite sometimes sounding strangely repetitive. All right, without further ado, let's get into some more interesting conversations. I'm going to invite my next set of distinguished guests on in, so please come on down.
Oh, fuck me, I need a dog after this. I also could use a hot dog.
Yo, you guys help yourself. Got some fine dumpster dogs right here.
I want to grab one.
It's nice to be back, Beef.
Oh, it's great to have you guys. I really do mighty appreciate having you back in the studio. We always have good, interesting conversations around here, and I'm mighty appreciative, and I'm sure so are all the other inquisitive minds who are out there listening to this broadcast right now. So please, gentlemen, I of course have had the pleasure of meeting your introduction, but please introduce yourself to the people listening who might not know who you are.
For those that don't know me, my name is Dr. Cade Loomis, and here is my strange friend. I actually don't know your name. I just call you Slackjaw every time I see you, so.
I think my name's like Ben or something. No, it's Wyatt. Never mind. It's Wyatt
right.
Cooper, I think.
Yeah, it's my dear friend Wyatt.
It's nice to have you guys on the show. Well, the floor is yours. Please discuss whatever it is that you need to discuss with the people of this fine county.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be back so early, but with the message coming up of this Dr. Zarkov.
Oh, Dr.
his
Zarkov. I got
strange-
the name wrong. I'm getting old. I forget things. Dr. Zarkov, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm only ever 70% thinking that I'm correct saying it. I don't know. There's so many names that sound like it, right?
Indeed.
Anyway, I figured I'd come on here after I had several people ask me if we know who this guy is or if we're related to him, talking about mine and Celeste's operation of bringing back, well, these cybernetic implants and or the work we were doing before the fall. God definitely had a strange cadence about him, and I wanted to dismiss the illusion that we're any way associated with that guy. There's just no fucking way.
I mean, you guys are scientists as well, but I don't think it's fair to lump all the scientists together into one bucket. They all got different kinds of research they're doing, different motives and outcomes that you guys, I'm sure, are trying to achieve with your work. So maybe do tell the good people about some of those things that you're trying to accomplish out here.
Where he speaks with a similar cadence to Celeste and I. While we do
Yeah, I think your voice box is just acting up on you here. I'll just give you a second to fix that up now.
Oh, 1 second. Am I good now?
Oh yeah, you're great now.
There we go. So this Dr. Zarkov has a similar cadence, right? Pushing the boundaries of human limitations and so on. Yeah.
Indeed.
But he seems completely devoid of ethics. And I can't say that our pot's full on that either, but, we at least offer people an option. We offer them consent, assuming we get our research and resources back to us. If you see my hands here, if you've ever seen Celeste's eyes, we're looking to bring these sort of implants back and available and to the people.
Oh, implants. You're trying to get them some kind of research together, it sounds like, to improve the material lives of the people of the county.
Exactly, in a way that's has consent in mind and, doesn't sound totally fucking diabolical.
That motherfucker does sound pretty goddamn diabolical, I do admit. I want to remind everyone out there, free group. But yeah, anyway, so these cybernetic implants, like, what kind of things are we talking about here? Are we talking about, like robot legs or something?
Well, I mean, potentially. We'll see. Like, I mean, if you look at my arms here, were probably the most advanced that we were working on before the fall.
Yeah, I was under the impression those were just
Celeste...
cool gloves for a while, but apparently they're actually like real robot arms.
Can take my coat off, up from my hands to my shoulders, right?
Cool guy.
But anyway, yeah, like my arms or my partner Celeste's eyes. There's a couple. Her sister has a mechanical heart that we were working on as well.
Oh man!
Those were the most advanced, and they're actually prototypes. They're not quite refined, but we all chose these to kind of push. What, like, if you can't use the product yourself, then why pitch it?
Well, that makes sense. I suppose you gotta know it works, right? You gotta test on yourself first.
Exactly. But I did want to.
So what do the people out there need to know about your research? Like, how can they benefit from such an endeavor?
Well, if they are able, like, if we already have quite a few minds and very able-bodied people out there trying to help us obtain our research and resources again that were stolen before the fall. Apparently, it's come to light recently that a company called Cyberdrive, which was a competitor to Lex Medica, the company we worked for, has seems like that's where our research ended up at. Recently, we found several remote sites throughout the county and have been slowly reobtaining some of the research and resources that we lost.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of like corporate espionage or something, stealing things that don't belong to them. That's un-American.
So, we're very American. It just depends on the lens you look at it through.
I do agree. So what do the people out there need to know about this sort of thing?
Well, currently we found these abandoned remote debunked sites of cyber drives. We currently don't know if they have any living workers or anything like that. But if you see these sites or you see any, I would call it strange looking plants that kind of look like ginseng flowers, but a little more magical looking, maybe neon colored.
Oh,
No, those are resources that could benefit us a ton. They go into the research and making these implants actually work. I won't get too far into it because it's a whole fucking rabbit hole.
well, maybe on a later date you can tell me more about this. So what you're saying is people out there, they gotta, if they found these areas, these research, facilities, or the strange ginseng-looking stuff that you're talking about here. How do they contact you? What is the process? Like, should they be telling Maisie about these places so we get them on the maps? Or what's the deal here?
Actually, it would probably be helpful to her endeavors as well. So we have an open thing over the facts. Like, it's like an open source document over the facts you can read over. We've been tracking radio signals throughout the county, and it turns up like we found 3 sites of CyberDrive so far. But while other people have been on these investigations looking for our stuff, they found other locked up areas like the radio tower that popped off the other day with the Larrys. We found a few more compounds that are unmarked and inaccessible currently that seem to always end up a little close to these CyberDrive sites.
Well, that is an interesting development, if I do say so myself. Well, people out there, if you're listening right now, you make sure you get in touch with these fine gentlemen. If you find any of these facilities or any of these strange, I guess, strange herbs that are growing around, it can become very valuable to not just themselves, but a man like you. You can probably really turn them around into something.
That is correct. It's basically the literal glue of how these implants work.
Well, I do hope that in the future you can come by and give us more information on this as you progress in your research. This sounds like the American way. It's all about innovation, and improving the lives of hard-working Americans out there.
Yep, indeed it is.
Well, let me ask you guys, is there anything else you need the fine folks of the county out there to know?
I don't know if White's got anything on his mind, but he can take the air, I think, for a quick minute.
I'm going back in here with TMR, so I'll just wait till then.
All right. Well, I might appreciate you guys coming on the show as always. As everyone out there knows, every one of you listening right now, you are inquisitive mind. You're asking the right questions, and I want all of you to tune into the scoop so you can stay in the loop. And when we put all these pieces down on a table, we're going to figure out just what the picture is. And speaking of pictures, there's some, kind of a fog out there right now. Kind of cloud in people's judgment. All kinds of strange comings and goings. We got the National Guard out there saying that they're helping people out. But old Beef Jetski, you don't believe that. I think they got something else going on. Why is Fort Redstone locked up tight? What is going on down there? And why are there so many running zombies around it? What happens when they open it up? Are they going to start running towards us? Everyone, look behind you. Look behind you. Okay. There's nothing behind. It's okay. All right, everything's fine. All right, guys. Without further ado, we got a packed house of guests. We got quite a lot of conversations to have, and I don't want to waste no time. I know you're all working real hard out there to try and build a better tomorrow for every hard-working American. So please, without further ado, I'd like to invite my next guest up. Please, come on in and introduce yourself to the fine folks of this county. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining Beef Jetski here. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. everyone in this county has, you know, the right to come on and say their piece. And I'm sure the people out there would love to get to know more about you and hear what stories you got to tell. So the floor is yours, please. Oh, mutation, you say? I mean, that doesn't sound very good to me. Well, that's kind of shitty news. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, the show's not always about everything being rosy posy and happy dappy. But I gotta say, having to work harder to kill those things ain't exactly what I made my cup of tea. I'm already working hard enough. So you're saying they're getting tougher? That's because of this mutation of some kind. Well, that is most concerning, if I do say so myself. You know, the runners. I went down to Fort Redstone. Some of you saw the footage that I played a couple of shows ago, and those things ain't no joke. I barely got out of there with my own skin, and yeah, I don't know. It's one thing to have to deal with them where the Redstone. There's really no point in going down, but be very concerned if they start popping up in other places in the county, and I don't know if that mad scientist crazy guy has something to do with this. Like, where do you think this is all coming from? I've been saying this. I've been saying this all the time. You gotta boil your water, ladies and gentlemen. You can't drink the water. There's something in it. They're putting something in it, making the thing crazy. I mean, please tell me boiling the water helps, because I've been telling everyone that, and I really do hope that is an adequate precaution for this sort of thing. That is an interesting pattern. I never quite put that together. I guess that's why we have, scientists like yourself, to really put the facts together and, help us less educated folk, understand what's really going on. Thank God we got people like you around, Dr. Volkov. Now, besides these, I assume there's not much that we can do about these mutations. Is there any kind of, countermeasure or preventative steps that we could take in order to stem this tide of danger? Well, I guess, a lead salad is just what the doctor ordered. Literally, the doctor's telling us make sure you shoot 'em full of lead. Aim for the head, as Beef Jetski likes to say. Oh, indeed, indeed. Please, the floor is yours. Yeah, Shady Terry, Shady Terry. You know, some people made some spurious accusations about him and car theft. I mean, I still have to see evidence to support this, but, you know, he did me a good favor getting me my vehicle back. I have to say, it was a very honorable thing, and I appreciate Shady Terry for doing so, and I hope to have him on the show sometime, but please tell us more about Shady Terry. Oh, indeed, indeed. I mean, it's good that you're addressing these allegations head on. That does show a lot of, you know, gumption. Well, excellent. I mean, I hope this lab equipment can, you know, benefit the people of the county out there. And they realize that, you know, some investments do need to be made in the researches and the sciences in order for us to, you know, innovate and experiment our way out of this whole predicament. Well, I will tell you what, Dr. Volkov, you know, I Beef Jetski would personally like to make a donation to your enterprise in the order of how does $25,000 sound? I got a fuck ton of money and I don't know what to do with it all, to be honest with you. Well, indeed, indeed. I would love to do my part. You know, I want to make sure the people of the county know that Beef Jetski is doing what he can to help and to, you know, move this science and the research in the right direction so that we can all come together as a people and fight our way through this insidious challenge that lays before us today. You know, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you want the fine people listening to this broadcast to know? Oh, indeed, indeed. Please, I would love to see your documents. Everyone out there probably is just at the edge of their seat right now to know what's going on.
Yeah, my name is Al, and I would like to share a bit of information with the current situation with the National Guard. As you're aware, there was a helicopter crash not too long ago, and perhaps there was a pilot amongst the rubble and amongst his body and his stuff. I may have found some rather interesting information I would like to share with everyone.
Oh, indeed, indeed. This is a stunning development today on The Scoop, guys. I told you The Scoop keeps you in the loop, and I appreciate you bringing this information to the table. I think it's very important that people of the county know what's going on.
You could pick those up for me, and I would just like to make things clear that everyone in this county, me and the doc, and we're just furthering the research on the zombie mutations, so I know they may seem like a rather not so great person, but we're trying to help people out here. Believe me. We're not trying to harm people.
I mean, you're coming to this broadcast in good faith, bringing information, making it available to people, and I think that shows, you know, a real generous nature of your person. And so you want me to just kind of read these out over the air while everyone's listening here?
Yes. I would like to share all this information about the National Guard so all of you are very aware of what's going on and so you can keep your guns up and ready to fuck these guys up whenever they come around.
Ah, so you think the National Guard's full of shit too, huh?
Well, of course, after you read these documents out loud, you will have a better understanding of what's going on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, this is a fucking exclusive right here we got going on. This show everything just went up a notch. I gotta say, I'm real excited about a good scoop. And, you know, on the scoop, we keep it in the loop. So, here, guys, here's the scoop. All right, let's zoom in. I'm gonna put this right up to the camera. For those who are watching and those who are listening, I'll read these out for you guys here. These seem to be National Guard radio transmissions that had happened recently. So let's take a look here all together. All right, so we got Alpha's talking some kind of panic talk, saying, Major, we got a situation. Zombies, they're outside the bunker. At least a dozen and getting closer. And the Major says, understood, Team A. Hold your position. Team B, can you secure the area? Bravo says, negative, Major. We got no visual on the perimeter yet, but there's a lot of noise. We'll check it out. And the Major says, listen up. Keep it calm and stay quiet. We need to finish powering up this place. Team A, get back inside ASAP. And Team B, cover them while they retreat. I'll send reinforcements. Stay sharp. Major out. Now, this is a concerning development, if I do say so myself. You know, National Guard's supposed to be all rough and tumble and have all kinds of resources. You know, a couple of zombies really shouldn't be a problem for them. But let's move on to this next transmission here. There's Major, Alpha Bravo, report. Yeah, Alpha says the fuel lines are cleared, pressurizing now. Wonder what kind of fuel lines they're talking about. Anyway, Bravo, bypassing the panel, Major. Power should be up soon. And the Major says, good, stay sharp. Keep me updated every 10 minutes. In the military, they call that a sit rep. All right.
I would say try to keep them a little bit in order because it make it a little bit confusing.
No, I mean I'm a confusing guy. That's fair. That's fair. I think I might have read those in the wrong order. But anyway, well, I'll try and keep this in the right order going forward. I appreciate you keeping me honest here. Beef Jesse's kind of crazy. All right. So we got another transmission coming in. It's on 12/23/2000, and it says, Major, Alpha Bravo, I need to sit up on that bunker. Oh, fucking bunker they're talking about. Anyway, Alpha, fuel's low, Major. We're working on it. And then Bravo radios in. Distributor's completely shot. We're replacing the relay. The old one is melted. Major. Copy that, Alpha. Get the fuel sorted. Bravo, keep me posted. We need that power online ASAP. I wonder what kind of power they're talking about. I know that we've been having all kinds of power blips lately with the things coming on. They're talking about some kind of bunker. I wonder what it's all about. All right, we're moving on to the next one here. And again, I read these all kind of out of order. I apologize. This should be the right order now. All right, here it is. This is another radio transmission for the Major. It says, Team A, any progress? And then Alpha says, hey, we're clearing the fuel line, Major. Almost there. And then Bravo radio's in saying, panel's still down, Major. We might need a bypass. And the Major says, understood. Prepare. Buckle up the generators. Team A, keep at it. I mean, from what I'm seeing here, it sounds like there's some kind of bunker. They're trying to restore power or something. Does that check out with what you make from all these?
I suppose that might be the case. There might be a bunker out there with quite a bit of supplies. They're trying to get back up and running for their own purposes.
Yeah, I know the people of the county, you guys may have seen or heard that the power was, been flickering on and off, which is real strange, I gotta say. So I wonder if these radio transmissions, they might coincide with those events that we've been seeing. And the other day, I know that there was something going on in where's it, Greenleaf, I think it was, where people were able to restore the power. There was an engineer there getting the power back online.
Yes, there was, and thankfully we were able to get the power back on. Thanks to the good people of the county helping out.
Well, I gotta say, when Americans pull themselves up by their bootstraps, we can do anything. And this is just another fine testament of the hard work of all you great folk out there working your butts off to try and make this a better place to live, despite the circumstances that we've been put in. Now, this is a disturbing and surprising development. So, before we move on to our next guest, is there anything that you guys think that the people of the county need to know?
I would just like to say that we're trying to help people out here, and by all means, we could withhold this information from all of you, but we'd love to share with all of you. We want you to know the things that the National Guard are doing for this county, and despite the hate that Miss Volkov here is getting, she's rather trying to help all of us in her research.
Well, indeed, indeed. And I gotta say, that's why Beef Jetski here is making a $25,000 donation today to Dr. Volkov to try to improve her facilities and make sure that she has the equipment and supplies that she needs in order to continue that important research. So I thank you mighty kindly for coming on the show and telling the people of the county this very critical information.
It's very well appreciated. I would like to get those
Oh,
back.
by all means, take those with you. Yeah. Oh,
I'll,
thank
of
you.
course, share them all at some point where everyone can see them clearly.
Oh, indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, thank you guys again for coming on the show. It's people like these two fine Americans who coming on and doing the American thing, the American way, which is sharing information and helping out their fellow mankind. And I personally want to applaud them and thank them for their time and coming on here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know all of you out there, you all thinking the right thing. You're asking the right kind of questions. You just need to keep putting the puzzle pieces together, and we're all going to figure this out as a team. And speaking of teams, we got more industrious, wonderful people about to step in the studio. So I would like to invite my next guest to come on in, say hello to the people out there, introduce yourself, and tell the people of the county what they need to know. Oh, Bonnie, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. I know you and I have not gotten to get formally introduced, but I've heard wonderful things about Navarest. It is a beautiful, beautiful little town, and I hope it's okay that me and Ruth set up a little summer home. Well, actually, technically, I guess it's a winter home, but we're hoping to get away from the cold and the shivers and whatnot, and get some rest and relaxation from the hustle and bustle of the hotel. But you have a beautiful, beautiful place up there, and please, I'd love to hear, more about your people and about what you want the people out there to know. Those car thieves, I gotta tell you, I'm glad I got my Betsy back because I love that car very much. I'm mighty thankful to Shade Terrier for getting it back in my hands. But yes, and then we got the cannibals going out there, and they're eating people. I've heard several credible witness accounts to this effect, and it is a most concerning development. I do agree that I don't think that, we as individuals can necessarily stand up to this threat. It does become incumbent on us as people to work together and try and rid ourselves of this scourge of cannibalism that's going on. And it's crazy. There's lots of food out there. I don't see why no one's got to be eating other people. There's delicious, now listen, guys, if you're ever hungry, come on down to the Goldenrod Inn. I'll give you some gabagool myself. The pigs that they're made of, they eat nothing but acorns. It's absolutely delicious stuff. You don't need to eat people. If you're hungry, come on down to the Goldenrod. I'll feed you. I'll feed you. But anyway, we do need to keep all of our citizens safe, and I do recommend to people to have a buddy system out there where you don't go alone into the towns. The cannibals, they are very, very sneaky, and they'll get you because they've gotten a couple people already. I do say I have done some business with Jay Ice out in Elroy or Elroy, depending on what you want to call it. And he's a fine businessman who seems to be doing just a fantastic service for the people out there. Selling all kinds of weapons and ammunition and just, supplies that people need in order to make their living. So yeah, shout out to Jay Ice. If you're out there listening, Jay, come on the show anytime, advertise your business. Although I think I kind of just did advertise your business. But anyway, shout out to Jay and shout out to the goddamn Paladins for trying to, bring a sense of security through their religion. It's interesting stuff, I gotta say. Now tell me, Bonnie, how do people get a hold of the Paladins if they want to work with you to, rid the county of this scourge? Well, excellent. It's good to know that you kind of got office hours that people can reach out to you and get in touch. And I recommend to everyone out there, get a hold of Bonnie, share what you know, and work together, because that's the only way we're going to deal with these goddamn fucking cannibals. They just be eating people, and it's just unnecessary. And more than anything, it's un-American. It's un-American, in my opinion. Well, Bonnie, is there anything else you want to tell the people of the county out there that they need to know? Well, that is an excellent service to be offering to the people, because I do know that tensions can sometimes get high. People can, things can get blown out of proportion, and that's not gonna get us out of this mess. We gotta work together as a people, and that's why I encourage people to reach out to Bonnie to try and work with the paladins if necessary, or if you see value in that. And only when we come together, we really gonna be able to get ourselves out of this mess. So Bonnie, thank you so much for coming on the show. I mighty appreciate it. Before we conclude our interview, is there any last words? Hey, Bonnie, it's been a real pleasure meeting you, having you on the show. Ruth and I'll come by. We'll say hello. We'll bring some more Krug Grand Cuvée. It's a beautiful champagne. Hotel has so much of it. I can't get the stuff away fast enough. And we'll have a nice dinner, something to get it up there in your beautiful, beautiful town that you built. Oh, I do love a good pie. It's nothing more American than pie. Indeed. And I want everyone out there who's listening tonight to take, these words seriously. The cannibals are a real threat. I personally have heard witness testimony of them just slicing and dicing people up. And, I would not want to be on the other side of that cleaver. I just know that they seem to have some kind of undying thirst for the flesh, which is kind of bullshit, because like I said, there's a whole bunch of delicious food out there. I got gabagool, we got pizza downstairs. I'll even make you tacos if you want a taco. Come on down to the Goldenrod Inn. And speaking of Goldenrod Inn, I want to remind everyone that we're actually pretty full when it comes to rooms. I don't have a whole lot of rooms left to offer, but if you need something to eat, if you need a jacket or something, just come on down. We got a great shop that's just out front. It's the Safe Depot, run by my good friend Shakur, and he'll take good care of you. Now, mind you gotta pay. It costs money, but his prices are fair. He's a good man. And he'll cut you a good deal. I'll tell you that right now. And without further ado, speaking of this fine gentleman, I'd like to invite my next guest to sit down, to have a chat, and please, sir, the floor is yours. It's good to see you, my man.
How you doing, Beef? It's always good to see you.
It's great to see you, Shakur. It's great to fucking see you. How's things going at the Safe Depot there?
Man, it's been it's been beautiful, man. It's been amazing, truly. The people have come together. Everyone is coming around and been real nice, real good folk. Everyone loves the prices. They love what I got to offer, and I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it for all the folks out there in the county. It's for you folks. I do this for you. I hope everyone, if you haven't come by the shop, please come by. We got all kinds of shit. We got shit that you can use, whether you are fucking loaded, stacked to the nines, or you just woke up. We got it all, really, truly.
Well, I gotta say, you guys got quite the nice shop in there, and I do appreciate you having it so close to the Goldenrod, so my guests can just step out the door and they can get their hands on some of the finest wares that are available to people out there. And I'm mighty appreciative of that, Shakur. I know you've had some strange things going on. I know the Safe Depot is a safe place for people, but I know that sometimes trouble comes walking, weird things happen. Anything strange going on in around there?
Oh yeah, brother, I'm glad you brought it up. There's been a handful of dealings and whatnot that I just, you know what? We're gonna go into this quite a bit. I got a lot to say on this.
I bet you do.
So first off, there was some things today. One of my good customers. I don't want to put him on blast. I'm so sorry, but I'm just gonna put it out there. But Jay, he's one of my good customers, and a guy came in. This guy was in a fucking prisoner jumpsuit, all orange, had a ski mask on, man. He came in and he was like, it's night time, and then started running at Jay, man. He started running at Jay, swinging swinging some kind of like machete or some such thing at him. We, you know, it is the safe depot, so you know, usually I don't try to, you know, I try to, you know, just try to warn people, hey, you know, you stick to the rules and you don't have to get too hurt. But we have to put this guy down, man.
Well,
He had to go.
You'd mentioned before, you know, people come messing around, you'll beat them with a baseball bat, but this sounds like it called for a little bit more than a baseball bat, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, oh yeah, you know, we had to, let's say, make some netting out of him.
Well, I guess you know, for someone telling that it's your bedtime and it's time to go to sleep, I guess you guys put her to sleep. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know, we certainly did. You know, we don't play no shit. The other thing that happened.
You gotta protect your customers, and this just to be
Absolutely.
clear, you know, if there is some masked vigilante going around there trying to enforce bedtimes or some shit like that, that's fucking un-American. It's anyone can go to bed anytime they want in this country. That's what America's found on.
Preach.
You're setting your own
Preach,
bedtime.
Yeah. The other thing that happened. Now, you know, this was real sketchy. Real sketchy, but I heard I was in my shop one day just taking care of manners, you know how I do, just doing some routine maintenance, and next thing I heard, pop pop, some shots just outside the shop, and I ran out. I was like, what's going on? And I see a car running, and I see two folks, you know, they just shot this man. He was laying dead on the ground, beef, and I was like, what's going on here? You know, I'm trying to figure out what's happening, and they were like, they laid claim that I was like, oh well, he told us that he was gonna shoot us or something. It would sound like bullshit, beef. It was bullshit. These two characters, they looked real sketchy, there wasn't something right about it. It stunk. I didn't like it. I didn't want to get more involved. You know, there was two of them. I was only myself. You know, but it was shady. It was very shady. I didn't like it.
So, you know, I gotta say, this Lake Ivy is a beautiful place to call your home and to set up a homestead. And, you know, it is a real lovely place. There are some sketchy characters going around. So, you know, I want to remind all the fine folks that are listening right now to always make sure that you either got a buddy with you, you got a real good sidearm. You give them the what for. You know, as Dr. Volkov said, you got to give them a lead salad, give them a hefty dose of lead. I don't put them to sleep, that's for sure.
Certainly. All right. The last thing I wanna talk about in terms of shady dealings. I want to talk about this Shady Terry, brother.
Shady Terry, he's been coming up a lot on tonight's show. I gotta say, this is an interesting development. Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, indeedy. All right. I want to say first, I'm reaching out. I hope she's listening. I want to reach out to Lone Volkov, who was just here earlier on the show. You claim, Lone, that you have to work for this shady place to meet your financial needs, but and you said that you reached out to other folks and no one was offering work. I think you're just asking the wrong people. You know, you came into my shop earlier and I denied you service because of your dealings with Shady Terry. But you know, what you didn't ask me? Hey, could I get a job, Shakur? Well, guess what, Lone? I would offer you a job. I would offer you, you know, if that's what it takes to help you get clean of this dirty, shitty business. You know, I want to remind everybody that Shady Terry, fucking, you know, he's buying and they only buy stolen vehicles. What kind of shit is that? Only stolen? What the hell? It's some bullshit, beef. So I want to remind everyone that's dirty business. We shouldn't have to fucking. Oh, you know what? Let me take a few steps
man,
back
I know
here.
I got sometimes I go on rants too. I feel you, man. I feel you.
Yeah, all right. All right, let me just put one last word out. If you're listening to Shady Terry, I don't want no trouble, you know, shit. I'll keep my mouth, you know, to me. I'll keep my nose in my business to myself. You know, just you and your people stay away from my shop, and I'll stay away from you and yours.
Wow.
That's all. A little mutual respect among businesses. We'll call it that.
I suppose it's mighty fair for two enterprising business people to, you know, set some limits or draw some lines in the sand. You know, you stay on your side, I stay on mine, and everyone gets along.
Exactly.
You know? Well,
exactly.
That is true, Shakur. That is true. You gotta.
You know, I have to. you know, if it wasn't, sorry to cut you off, Pete, but you know, I got to prioritize, you know, the safety of my customers above myself. You know, I'm a principled man. You know, I got my own feelings about all this business, of course, but this isn't about me. You know, it's about my customers and it's about my business. It's about what I'm trying to do for the county. So I'll bite my tongue. Last thing, another thing, like I said, any other associates that do want to, you know, try and get a little clean money, you know, I'll extend that offer that I made to loan to anyone else, except one motherfucker, Champ I don't even know what his fucking Champ the dipshit for all I fucking know.
Nah,
Fucking
Champ the Tramp or something like that. That guy
More
seems
like
to really like tacos. That's
fucking-
why I started selling tacos downstairs, because he keeps asking for them and I never see them.
Man, fuck that guy. You shot me twice, man. Fucking asshole, man.
Yeah, he's a little bit of an
I don't Champ the
unstable
Tramp.
individual, if you don't
Yeah,
mind me
man.
saying so.
Fucking Champ the shithead. Yeah, you ain't getting no business from me, Champ. Don't you come around my business. I ain't gonna service you. I ain't gonna offer you nothing. No job, no goods. Fucking stay over at Shady Terry's, you piece of shit.
Well, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you gotta set rules in order to, you know, run like a proper business. And if people are disrupting and acting crazy, then I suppose that's fair.
Yeah. All right. Honestly, I'm getting worked up this episode. I'm so sorry, Beef.
Nah, the scoop will do that to you, man. You know, keeping in the loop is a full-time job.
Well, amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Anyways, all right. Well, I'm closing statements for I think I've said most of my piece. So just one last word out to the good people of the county. Come on down to the Safe Depot. Like I say, when you're here, you're safe. And we do all we can to try and make sure that it stays that way. And I appreciate the good folks that have been coming by, my regulars, and all the people that I have ongoing trade agreements with. You know, we at the Safe Depot, we do trade. We if you don't have cash money on hand, we will trade, and we also buy goods. You know, if you got too much of something, come on down. Let me take a look. You know, I need all kinds of shit.
That's
So
the fucking
yeah,
American way right there, my man.
fucking amen, brother.
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you setting up shop so close to us. It does benefit my guests and the people of Lake Ivy quite a bit, having such a fine enterprise and businessmen as yourself taking care of them. So thank you for coming on the show. And I want to remind all you out there, come on down to Shakur's shop, a Safe Depot. He's got great deals. He'll take care of you. And, you know, that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, amen. Yep, that's about it. And again, thank you for allowing. You know what we had spoken about before I even started. So thank you for agreeing to allow me to set up shop right there. You know, it's mutually beneficial to both of us, and I appreciate it.
Oh, indeed, Chico. You're always welcome on the show. Come on by anytime you got something to talk about. We'd love to hear from you.
All right, for sure, brother. Oh God, I think I might just turn off. Okay, there
you're
it
all
goes.
right. You're all right, man. All right, cool, my friend.
Well, sorry about that.
No, it's all
All right, stay
good.
safe, brother Beef.
All right. Ain't no Shady Terry in here. We don't need to turn the lights out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind everyone out there, all you fine folk who are listening, you are asking the right questions. You're an inquisitive mind. And I want to remind everyone out there, if you need to advertise your services or let the people of the county know something, you get in touch with me, Beef Jetski, and I'll make sure I get you on the show, get you in front of the people, and get your message out there, because that's what it's all about. And speaking of getting messages out there...
Oh God, one more thing.
Yeah,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
of
I'm so
course,
sorry,
of
Beef.
course, of course.
Oh my God, fuck. I just want to say, Rosemary, I'm very sorry about what happened between us. You do have that 10% discount for life because of that. Sorry for the fine folks that had to see me all bent out of shape about that. Anyways, yeah, okay, I'm so sorry.
That's
All right,
fine.
all right, stay safe,
okay.
folks.
You know, it's actually kind of a good segue into what I was just about to say, which is, you know, I want to remind everyone, if you guys want to advertise your services, come on the show. You know, come talk to Beef Jetski. And speaking of advertising services, I want to remind everyone that my wonderful, soon-to-be ex-wife, Ruth Jetski, you know, once we find a good divorce lawyer to finally settle our finances and such, she has opened a very wonderful dental therapy practice. It's just up the road from the Goldenrod Inn. If you need to get your teeth cleaned, and talk about your problems simultaneously. She is both a licensed dentist and a licensed psychotherapist. You know, she sits there, she drills the holes in your teeth and fixes you up while she asks you about your problems. It's a fine service. I go in there myself. That's how I keep these teeth so pearly white all the time. So I recommend all of you get in touch with Ruth Jetski and book an appointment at her dental therapy practice. I swear, your teeth will thank you, and so will your mind, because she gets in your head, just like she gets in my fucking head all the time and telling me I'm doing a bad job running the whole... Anyway, I'm going on a little bit of a rant here. Okay. All right, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I thank all of you for listening. We still have a couple of more really great guests to come on to the show, so I want to invite my next set of guests. Please come on into the studio, introduce yourself to the fine folks. The floor is yours.
Come on, Gordon.
Hello.
Come
We-
sit down here, Roller.
Welcome,
We
welcome.
brought an old man.
Of course, we don't discriminate on age, guys. If there's a guy or young people, old people, everyone's welcome on the show. Come on, have a seat, and please introduce yourself to the fine folks out there and tell them what you need them to know.
Hello, fine folks out there. My name is Gordon Roller. I'm a retired used car salesman and a current resident of the Pearly Gates Nursing Home. My
Pearly Gates is a
director-
fine place.
He told me to not talk to the media, so I'm down here not talking. You know what I mean?
Actually, I mean, technically you are meeting the boss, so that's good to know.
Yes, of course. So I lost my pills, and I've been looking for them for a very long time. And if anybody finds Gordon Roller's pills out there, please bring them to the nursing home. I'm starting to lose my shit.
Well, you know, that is just un-American for someone not to have access to the health care that we all have a God-given right to pay money for. So I want to remind people, if you find Gordon Roll's pills out there, you bring them on down to Pearly Gates. He needs those pills.
Yeah, I need those pills so bad, you know. My gambling addiction, it gets so out of hand without them, Mr. Jetski.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll tell you what. You know, until you get your hands on those pills, there. You know, if you need a little bit of a helping hand to make sure you fund your terrible gambling addiction, you just let Beef Jetski know. I'll bankroll you for a little bit.
How about this, Mr. Jetski? Would you like to roll shoes for shoes? I've been a big fan of gambling for shoes because I have to walk home without them if I lose.
No one should have to walk home without their shoes. That's un-American, I gotta say. Well, yeah, like I said, sir, if you need some shoes, you come on by the Goldenrod. I'll give you a pair of shoes. Sometime we'll have a dice game or however it is you roll for shoes. I don't know exactly how that works, but we'll figure it out.
Oh, okay.
You want a dice?
Yeah.
Gordon, you want a dice?
Yeah, I can roll right now, but if you can't gamble
Have a
on the
dice.
air, it's understandable.
Well, I suppose, just so we can show people, how this sort of thing works. Yeah, I mean, if you want to grab some...
Oh boy, he's gonna do it, guys.
Yes, he is.
He's gonna do
Yes,
it!
so good,
Alright.
Roller.
All right. Now, I gotta tell you, I don't have
I
any
get pumped
dice
up for
on me,
dice
so you're
game.
gonna have to bring me some dice over here.
There's a
But you...
D20 right here. D20 right there.
Yeah, I got some dice for you, Mr. Jetski. There you go.
Excellent. All right,
a
it's a
D20
Yeah, it
dice.
reminds me of my D&D days.
And we're gonna go
You had a
best
D&D
out of
phase?
3. And the winner gets the shoes.
Are
Are you ready, Mr.
Yeah, I'm ready to
Jetski?
go. Yeah, let's fucking do this.
We're rooting for you here, Roller.
You got this, Gordon. You got this.
All right.
God
Ooh.
fucking damn it! This is
Oh,
why Ruth tells me I
boy.
shouldn't be gambling. Now I gotta give you my...
Oh, it's getting
job.
hot,
Oh,
baby.
God.
It's getting
getting
hot
hot,
up
it's
in
getting
here.
hot.
Oh, man.
You
All right.
know,
Oh, brother.
I guess...
All right, Mr. Jetski. Here we go again.
Oh, we gotta go again, huh? We gotta go again.
Best of
Gotta
three.
go again. It's 3. It's 3.
Yeah, you could still come back,
All right.
Mr. Jetski.
All right, yeah. Here
Oh.
we go. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got, old man.
Oh,
It's okay.
oh dang!
Well, it's
It all
time.
comes
You got
down
this.
to this
It's
now.
all,
round.
it's all
Oh,
about.
last
boy.
round.
That's what it's all about.
Shoes
Here.
I
got
believe
this,
in you,
Gordon.
hair roller.
Dice on the lane.
Here we go. Oh, no.
Oh.
I guess.
No.
I guess.
No.
Oh, you know,
I'm gonna give him your shoes.
Oh no, hair roller.
he's
Are you okay? He fell over. Do we have?
He fell.
Listen, I don't.
Deal's a deal, Mr.
It's a
Jetski. You win this time.
Oh,
But I'll be
yes.
back at
Ruth,
Rhythm Days again.
I'm just we seem to have some
Hey,
kind of a. Hey, can you
it's
someone
this
get this
guy.
intruder out of my fucking out of my
Excuse me,
studio?
please leave the
Please get
recording
this
Who the
guy.
hell is this
You have a
guy?
recording?
Oh,
Get
it's
outta
getting
here.
extra
Get
hot
this
in
guy.
here.
Get out of here.
Hey, get
Oh
out.
my gosh.
Come on.
Yeah, this guy.
Out.
Shoot.
Sure.
Time to get out.
Hey, man, it's time to
Get a
get
fly
out of here,
swatter.
man.
Get a fly
No.
swatter. Get a fly swatter.
This ain't no toilet,
Oh,
man.
this guy's rolling the dice of life, you know what I mean?
Give him your shoes already.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
Gordon,
can't
you got-
accept. I cannot accept these shoes.
No, you gotta.
The
you
shoes
want-
are
Hey,
all
Jetski,
mine.
I
Jetski,
insist,
he won't
Mr.
leave.
Jetski.
He won't leave
It's
until you
important
take the shoes.
All right,
Just
I'll
take
take,
them.
I'll
Make him
take
happy,
the
please.
shoes. I will, and
Yes, it's
I will personally make a donation of shoes to the Pearly Gates Nursing Home, so Mr. Gordon Roller here always has a pair of shoes.
Yes, thank
oh
you.
boy!
Wonderful.
Imagine
Thank
how
you
much
so much.
gambling I'll get to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
thank
any-
you so much,
Yes.
Mr. Jetski.
well,
To everybody out there, gambling is not a bad thing. Keep gambling.
no, I was just, I technically wasn't gambling. I was just demonstrating how gambling works is more of a demonstration kind of thing, but I understand.
It was an educational
Yes,
broadcast.
You
education,
guys
Marlo.
don't. Ruth
Yeah,
is gonna
very
give me-
educational
Ruth is gonna give me
and
so
fun.
much shit for that later, guys. You have no idea what that just cost me right now. But anyway, all
sorry.
right, guys. Listen, before we conclude today's interview, is there anything else that you want to, discuss with the fine people of this county?
Drink lots of milk.
Yeah, drink
What?
milk. Yeah.
I don't
milk is
think
American.
contact
yes, drink
American
milk,
American
drink milk.
tradition.
Always tie your shoes.
Yes. Shoes are very important.
Oh shit! I can't do that now.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh,
It's okay.
Why don't we bring you
We're very
home?
proud
Why
of you,
don't-
Gordon. You talked to the
Why don't we
media.
bring you home, hair roller?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you again.
Thank you for coming on the
Thank
show.
you, Beef.
I do appreciate it.
Yes,
I do
yes.
appreciate it. I do also.
Have
I can't believe I just stole an old man's shoes on air. But
you didn't steal it? You,
You didn't
wanted
steal
that.
it. It was
Yeah,
educational
all
broadcast.
right. Fair enough. All right. Thanks, guys, for
Educational
coming on the
broadcast.
show.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
yes,
learning
very
my
nice.
lesson,
Thanks for
Mr. Jetski.
having
Don't
us.
worry about it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Choose
We're
everybody.
very proud of you, Gordon. Talk to the media.
Let's leave.
Also, contact dermatitis isn't real.
All right. Well, again, I appreciate you guys coming on. And everyone out there, I just want to remind you that I did not, I wasn't trying to take that man's shoes or nothing. He's just, I was just trying to demonstrate the process of the shoe stuff. Anyway, without further ado, I think my next set of guests are going to be very, very interesting. There's quite a conversation to happen right now. So I would like to invite my next set of guests to come on into the studio, introduce yourselves, and tell the people of the county what they need to know.
Hello.
Hey, Beef. Thanks for having us
Welcome,
on.
guys.
Hey there
Wow,
again,
we
Beef.
got a whole fucking crew up in here. This is real nice, guys. Come on, have a seat or make some room or do whatever you do to get it. Yeah, there you go. Welcome to the studio, guys. It's good to have you all back. Now, listen, I know some people ask you to come in to introduce yourselves. These gentlemen, they need no introduction. I'm sure lots of people know about who you are and what some of the things that have gone down recently in terms of your actions towards the National Guard. So please, maybe tell us a little bit about what brings you to the studio today.
Go for it, Jason.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, basically, it all starts from the checkpoints, and in Lake Ivy, not Lake Ivy, sorry, Big Bear, they had a checkpoint, and they were planting cocaine on our members, and they actually shot someone, an innocent person, down to the ground. Like, they gunned him down. It was horrible. And after that, we knew we had to get revenge on these people. So when it came to them giving out gas, we just thought there's no better opportunity than now, and we decided to strike. And lots of people are complaining that we did the wrong thing.
And this is when you
course.
took matters into your own hands, and you engaged the National Guard in combat.
Yeah, exactly. And the people, they all say that, oh, we don't like the National Guard, but at the same time, they're defending them. They're literally criminals. They are scum. They're corrupt, and they are disgusting people who treat everyone else in this county under them. They treat us like a piece of gum on your shoe. That's how disgusting they are.
You know, these are, like I said, I never am much of a fan of the National Guard. I think something's going on with those guys, and, you know, they're not telling us the whole story of exactly what's going on, and they have yet to contact Beef Jetski here and come on the show and, you know, tell their side of the story. So I want to have you boys on. I know the fine people of this county have lots to say about the actions that you took, and I think it was only fair to have you on the show to represent yourselves and tell the good people out there, you know, maybe why you did what you did and what you expect to come from this chain of events that you have set into motion.
I can take it from here, Jason, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
You know, honestly, Beef, the real thing that we wanted to say is that we, the citizens of the county, will not be oppressed by, you know, an overlord or anything like that. You know, whenever we saw, again, that farmer get gunned down at the roadblock, we wanted to send a message back to the National Guard. And, you know, from that, we gained quite a bit of information, you know, just more of the patrols, what's been going on pretty recently. It seems like there's just a corrupt chain of command that's been relaying these soldiers and making them extort citizens, and we're trying to get down to the bottom of it.
Well, I might appreciate that, because I do believe that everyone out there is entitled to know what's really going on, and those National Guard folks, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I got two names for you. Two National Guard members that we definitely need to look out for. Private O'Neill and Lieutenant Rocklock. Those are the two that I've heard the most about. But seems like they're causing trouble.
Yeah, well, I mean, you like you said, they made some kind of plant of evidence on you and your people, trying to like entrap you in some way or kind, you know, which I just think is un-American. It's really un-American, folks. You know, people deserve to have the evidence put before them in a fair and impartial way, and that's just not what happened there, from what I can tell.
Exactly. And the main reason we're on your show tonight was to just try and clear up any uncertainty that any of the civilians, you know, any people in this fine county may have had. You know, I'm humbly, you know, at any point if anyone wanted to reach out to me, again, my name's Arden. You know, you can contact me on, you know, R001, reach out to me, fax me, whatever you want. Really, I'm here to answer any questions.
Indeed. I do appreciate that. Now, you know, I did try to reach out to some people in the county if there's any, you know, voices of opposition that wanted to, you know, debate or discuss this matter with you. Do you have anyone here today who's, you know, kind of has another side of the story to tell, or have their, you know, opinion of what's going on here today?
Well, Shakir, I know that you had some questions possibly. If you wanted to go ahead and ask, I believe now would be the time.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, so I am one of those folks that Arden here mentioned that, you know, I reached out to Arden, and I had questions, you know, because I asked earlier, you Arden, I asked you that, you know, what do you folks stand for? And you folks gave a very admirable stance. You know, you got folks said that, you know, you stand for just trying to protect the people and stand up against corruption and all that. Well, I think I'm so what I want to ask, you know, is I think we can all, you know, the decent folk of the county can get behind that mission, but what we want to know is proof. You know, we need more than just, okay, something happened with some farmer. You know, not everyone was there. I didn't see anything that happened. You know, so how do we all not know that this is just something going on that's like by word of mouth, you know? Maybe you guys are trying to like take over or something. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, that's what's going on. From what my dealings with you folks, you're good, honest people. But we need to see more. We need to see proof. We need to see, give us something. Give us some to stand behind you confidently. Because let me tell you, I want to be there. I want to.
Yeah, of course. I understand that. Jason, you want to take it? Or you want to take this one? Or I can?
Yeah, I'll go for a bit. So, not so long ago, I posted on the bulletin board a note from one of the higher in commands of the National Guard. One of the orders was to burn down Lake Ivy and all the people inside of it, which personally I believe, if that doesn't shout and scream violence, I don't know what does. And second of all, Wyatt here is from the Farmers Union, and one of his people were gunned down. If Wyatt, do you want to vouch for us?
This is very true, man. I saw it. Well, I didn't
you
see
saw this
it,
with your own
but
eyes.
saw the body. Saw the body, man. These were National Guard bullets, man. The holes, they would have been National Guard bullets.
Well, that is a concerned development. Like I said, I don't fully ever trust the Guard. I think that they're up to some nefarious activity, trying to curry favors with the survivors by handing out supplies and things like that. And I personally, I can't take much of a stance on these things, but I do gotta say, you boys are brave. You boys are brave for doing what you did. A lot of people wouldn't take matters into their own hands like that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Beef.
I want to
address.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry, go, Shakur. You could go.
I apologize. All right, so I want to say also that another thing I want to talk about with you folks is that you folks are doing mighty good work. I mean, certainly if these National Guard fuckers are corrupt and whatnot, and it certainly seems to be the case from everything we've seen. I sure as shit don't trust them either, like Beef said, but there's other matters that are closer to home. That's the other thing is like, you guys are fighting the good fight, abroad, on the overhead of things, but however, there's I would say, on behalf of the people on this beautiful county, and especially here in Lake Ivy, we need things that are more immediate handled, like these fucking cannibals, like these fucking, again, no beef with this next mention, but like Shady Terry, people need their fucking cars to not be stolen out every 10 seconds because this fucking asshole is offering mad cash for just incentivizing people to steal their cars. So, like, that's what I'm saying though, is you folks, if you handle the more immediate problems, that might be the best way to really gain public approval.
I mean, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
I definitely agree. We've definitely taken quite a few patrols up at Greenport and have actually killed a couple of the cannibals that you mentioned. We send routine patrols actually through Greenport to make sure that gets done. But additionally, in response to Shady Terry, I mean, it's hard to catch the sucker, I'll be honest. More than anything, and the car thieves, all he is really is a fence, end of the day, I think regardless, we're still going to have petty thieves and car thieves, and really we just need to be aware as a whole county. But in addition to that, what we've been mostly doing in the north is we're more of a bastion. We're not only seeing we're seeing more runners up in the north more than anything. More of these variants that Dr. Volkov mentioned earlier. And I don't know whether they're getting out of Fort Redstone or what exactly is going on, but we've mostly been kind of a bastion in the north, preventing them from getting further down to the south so far.
Indeed. Well, I do appreciate you guys keeping an eye on the people of the county out there, because like I said, we got to stick together. We're not going to get through this by being divided and conquered, and I do worry about that. I do worry about people's energies being expended in the wrong places. So, I think it's a lively and good conversation for us to have today.
Yeah, I'd also like to address another allegation. I've heard recently, well, we all have, on the radio about a certain member of our community called Adrian Fettel. Any actions that have been done, he does not account for the TMR. We do not associate with him anymore, publicly. Any matter in that case.
Interesting.
So
tell me
that's
more
why
about that. What exactly precipitated that sort of fallout?
Well, so some people from Elroy, we're pretty close with them right now, We like Jay. Jay's a nice guy. He used to live with us, and they were saying that Fettel was doing some mischievous acts by, like, robbing, threatening to kill people, and that's not what we stand for. So we've instantly took action on that.
Wow.
And to add on to that, he was proclaiming himself as the ruler of the TMR whenever we actually work as a council. Yep.
Yeah, we are a council.
Well, this country was founded on democracy, and everyone gets a vote and a say, and I appreciate you guys taking, the lessons of our founding fathers to heart and making sure that's a really important tenet of your community,
Of course.
exactly.
I mean, second most important one being the right to bear arms. Am I right, Beef?
Well, indeed. It's nothing more American than that. Well, listen, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming on and telling the people of this county, your position. And I do invite, if anyone wants to come on to the show and express themselves, and even if they disagree with your position, I think it's an important conversation to have. And if you guys are always welcome back on my program to, talk about whatever it is that you need to talk about.
Yeah,
Of course,
it's a
of
shame,
course.
really. We obviously, there's a few people who got strong opinions about us, and unfortunately, they haven't come on. And I would really like to debate with them, but I guess not.
Well, indeed. Maybe we can set that up for the next show. We can have a spirited debate between you and people who are, disagreeing with the actions that you've taken.
I also want to say again hopefully on the behalf, I don't want to speak for everybody, that's not my position, but hopefully on behalf of the Lake Ivy folks that are just trying to stay safe and stay alive out there, we appreciate you guys and what you stand for in your mission, as long as it's genuine, as long as you folks are genuine, and you guys keep fighting the good fight. I certainly respect that. And again, I want to be behind you. I want to help, and maybe we can discuss some of that later.
Of course. I appreciate that insight.
Indeed. That's what this country was founded on, is, just having good old conversations.
Also, whoever keeps fucking stealing my boombox out my goddamn shop, stop it! Stop stealing my goddamn boombox!
If you need an extra,
You heard it.
I'll hook you up, my man. I can't have no one stealing the music from your wonderful shop.
Yep. TMR will come searching out for any boombox thieves, just a heads up.
Yeah, if you're the
Thank
sticky
you,
bandit
folks.
taking the boomboxes, then get the fuck out of here, because there ain't gonna be no tolerance for that.
Spot on, Beef.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I mighty appreciate it. I'm sure everyone listening tonight really appreciates hearing your perspective, and it's going to generate some interesting conversation over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Of course,
thank
of
you for having
course. Yeah, thank you for having
Do
us,
you have
Beef.
any-
We
you have
appreciate
anything-
it.
Yeah, you have any final thoughts before we conclude tonight's broadcast?
Yep, one last thing. Just wanted to announce our alliance between the TMR and the Farmers Union, solidified by Wyatt being here with us today, protecting the fine farmers of this county, making sure that the people are fed. So we're here to back the farmers. Anybody that needs help with that, you have our support.
Now, it's a fine union between some fine people. Like I said, this country was built by farmers, putting food in the bellies and warming the hearts of the people. So I'm mighty appreciative of that to the Farmers Union. All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, then I'm going to say thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. And I hope to have you on real soon.
Of course,
Yeah, thank
Beef.
you.
You guys.
We appreciate you having us on.
Hell yeah, guys. That's what it's all about. Is keeping people in the loop and giving them the scoop.
Yeah, I can. Well, of course, if you ever
I'm
find anybody that wants to talk on the show next time, we'll happily come on for another debate.
Indeed. We'll definitely be in touch, my friends. All right, guys.
Well,
Grab
well,
me one of these hot dogs and fries.
help
right?
yourself. Yeah, there's food right there. If you're hungry, just help yourself to some food. It's real nice.
I'll try
real
one of
good
these.
stuff.
Oh, are these the neon dumpster dogs?
Yeah, the finest dogs you're gonna find on this side of the county. That's for sure.
That's for sure. We're having them at the Coliseum for our next event, actually.
Oh,
So
indeed.
make sure everybody comes and have some.
I
They're so
hope I
good.
get to step in the ring myself and show some of those whippersnappers what fall.
You sure can, Beef. We'll add you on.
Hell yeah, guys. Hell yeah. Well, everyone, say thank you to the TMR for doing the hard work out there. I know they can't be in they must be in a difficult position, I guess is what I'm trying to say, taking matters in their own hands when it comes to things like that. So I really, really do appreciate it, guys. Until next time, I think we're going to conclude tonight's, unless there's anyone, I don't think there's anyone else out in the waiting room. Can you guys take a look? Is there anyone else out there?
There's one more. There's one more group out here. One more.
Oh, one more
group.
group. Okay, one more
Yep.
group. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah, let you guys get out of here for a second, and we'll get set up for the next and the last group because Beef Jetski got to get some sleep. You know, the show is, oh man, it's taking a lot out of old man like me. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna let our last guest to come in for tonight and come on into the studio.
Howdy, Beef.
Howdy,
Name's
guys.
Andreas
Please,
Hardman.
the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself to the fine folks out in the county.
Well, my name is Andreas Hardman, and this is my associate of the Lake Area Settlement, Ivy Osborne.
Hello.
Oh,
First
pleasure,
of all, how are you
pleasure.
doing?
Thanks for coming on the show. I'm mighty appreciative to have new voices broadcasting out to the fine folks in this county. Please, the floor is yours. Tell the people what they need to know.
Well, I mainly just am here to inform everybody, you know, whoever is new to the Knox County, and if they don't exactly have a place to live, I'm more so just offering a little bit of a finer life for folks out there. In general, we have a nice little fishing settlement down over in the city of Nettle, centralized across the entire county. We offer plenty of food, plenty of water, and plenty of supplies to help out get anybody started. We'll also offering, you know, trying to get some housing all set up, but mainly just inviting every single citizen out there that just wants a home and just wants to be part of something greater out there.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. I think it's all about building. You know, this what America was built on, was building things. And you know, it's important that we all take our destinies into our own hands and you know, build a brighter future together. So I mighty finely appreciate your industrious nature.
Well, thank you, Beef. I mean, honestly, I don't think that we're any different than many other settlements. I mean, Lake Ivy is definitely one marvelous place to be settling down, as well as the citizens over at New Ekron. It's just another place and another option for all those folks out there and that don't really have a place yet.
Well, indeed, America was built on, you know, having lots of options. That's what, you know, capitalism is about, is people being industrious and having a chance to, you know, have a market share, if you will, of the lands and the territories. And, you know, you get too many people in one area and they get all cooped up and then things get kind of weird. So it's nice for people to be able to spread out around the county, have a nice big plot of land they can call their own, and I think what you guys are doing is just fantastic.
Well, thank you, Beef.
Now I gotta ask you, is there anything else, you know, strange that you've seen out there? Anything that you feel like the people of the county need to know about?
People in the county. Not much that I can really think of. I believe that there's a lot of people that have been talking about that National Guard business that's been happening.
Oh,
But-
indeed.
Oh yeah, that business is not exactly something to be happy about, I'll say.
Yeah, I can't exactly shake a stick at it. After all, they got big guns, that National Guard, you know, and that's why, you know, I invite the National Guard on the show if they want to come on here and say their piece. But something makes me think they're not going to take Beef Jetski up on that. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah. There is one topic I do want to touch up on, and that's the cannibal threat. I don't know if you've been hearing about that, Beef.
Damn fucking cannibals. I can't stand the cannibals. They're a scourge on this nation.
Definitely a scourge. But I'm glad for one thing, though, you know, like with those cannibals out there, I'm glad that the paladins are out there, you know, fighting the good fight for us.
Indeed, the Paladins are fine folk as well. Like I said, Ruth and I, we built ourselves a little summer home up there. We vacation, you know, go away for a month, just get away from the hustle and the bustle of the hotel so we can just kind of put our feet up and enjoy the finer things in life.
Yeah, that is true. I hope one of the paladins out there that me and one of my other founders of Lake Carey is listening in right now. Paladin Bonnie, if you're out there, Lake Carey sides with you, and if you ever need to call upon any kind of aid, don't feel afraid. We're always on Radio 818, and we're willing to be out there fighting this with you. We're all in it together, and nobody should ever have to stand against a bunch of cannibals alone.
Agreed. Well, I mean, I think the cannibals kind of thrive off of dividing and conquering the people. You know, they lurk in the shadows and waiting for people to be vulnerable, and in their weak moments, they don't seem to attack the strong. They don't, attack head on and directly. They wait until you're in the town looting by yourself, and that's when they strike. And you gotta be careful. You always gotta look behind you. Look behind you. Okay, there's nothing behind you. There's nothing behind you. Okay, all right. Anyway, sorry about that. Sometimes me jet ski gets a little worked up. But, like I said, guys, the only way that we're going to deal with these cannibals is together. If you see a cannibal, well, you show them what good old American lead can do to a cannibal. They're not going to eat. They're going to eat that, but it's not going to be very good for them. They're going to get a good case of lead poisoning, if you know what I mean.
Oh, lead poisoning.
Well, guys, I mighty appreciate you coming on the show and telling us about your settlement and all the industrious endeavors that you've been up to. And please come back on the show as you guys get more established. And, if there's a message that you need to get out there, some kind of services that you want to, advertise the people, that's what the scoop is for. It's really for keeping everybody in the loop, because only the scoop keeps you in the loop.
Yes,
Hey,
sir, Beef.
I would like to add my 2 cents, first of all,
Please,
to
please.
everybody who is tuning in to this wonderful meeting podcast called whatever. I'm sorry, I'm so unfamiliar with terminology. My name is Ivy. As Andreas mentioned, I am from Lake Kelly Settlement. As of services, I mostly specialize in mechanics and metalworking. I just want to put a word out there about it. If anyone is interested, needs some kind of assistance, some help for not too expensive services, something cheap and affordable, sometimes even as a charitable donation, I'm the person you can go to. In our settlements, radio frequency is 818. That's usually where you can find me as well. And if I don't answer and my associates answer, then you can just tell them directly that you're looking for me. And well, I'm not gonna add on any other topics because so many interesting people have visited you tonight and they touched upon so many different kind of topics. I don't want to bore you, but Beef, I do want to give you some love from my side. This is a wonderful thing that you've kickstarted for the county. I think this is gonna go to places, and I want to wish you the best of luck and hope to see you soon again.
Well, I mighty appreciate that. Like I said, we're just here at the Goldenrod. We're just doing our part, trying to, pay it forward a little bit and help people out. As a lot of people out there know, I was very fortunate to have a very wealthy father. My father, Steve Jetski himself, he's the man who invented the personal watercraft that is the jet ski. A lot of people think it's named a jet ski for, other reasons, but really it's our last name. That's why we called it the jet ski. And he died in a horrific jet ski accident. It left me the family fortune. And that's what we used to build this hotel. My wonderful, lovely wife, soon to be ex-wife, Ruth, she designed this place, every beautiful piece of furniture, the fine Corinthian lead, everything. That was all her. I really just wrote the checks. But we're just trying to do our part and help people out around here, and I'm just trying to assist however I can. So I appreciate you guys coming on and doing your part as well. It's really important that people know about Lake Kelly and this wonderful new community that you're building. I'll make sure that I come out there myself. Beef Jet Ski is going to come out, and I'm going to bring you guys a little donation of my own to help get you guys a little bit more settled, a little bit of an extra leg up, if you will. That's my personal, gift to your endeavors and all the hard work that you're doing.
Wow, Beef,
Oh my god.
that is mighty kind of you, sir. I appreciate it very much.
Well, we're all trying to build bridges out here, guys. The only way we're going to get out of this predicament is together. So, again, I'd like to just thank you for coming on the show. It means a lot to me. You're always welcome back. You just get in touch with good old Beef Jetski, and I'll get you on the show, okay?
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
I raise my glass to you, Beef.
Hell
Thank you, and
yeah,
hope you have
hell
a good
yeah.
night.
Help yourself to some triple distilled beef 2.0. It's in the vending machine out there. It's delicious triple distilled water. You can't get any. It's purely filtered. It's none of that. You can't drink the water. You need to boil it first, then triple distill it. So help yourself to some of that triple distilled water on the way out.
You heard him, kids. You know what to do now.
Yeah, don't be drinking that water. Don't be
Thank
drinking
you,
that
man.
water. No, thank you guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to thank all the fine folks out in the county who are listening and staying tuned in. I know this is a relatively long show. We have so many great guests telling us all kinds of important things. And I even gambled away a man's shoes. I can't believe I did that. I feel bad. I got to bring him a whole bunch of shoes. But anyway, Beef Jet Ski's getting off topic here. I thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming on the show. And we're going to start wrapping up shortly here.
All right, man. Best of luck to you, and thank you again. Hope you have a great day.
Hell yeah, guys. Hell yeah. We'll be seeing you out in Lake Kelly in no time. I do appreciate it.
We do too. Alrighty, let's get out of your hair then.
We'll see you real soon, guys. Come back on the show anytime.
Alrighty.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the people of Lake Kelly themselves. They got a budding settlement out there. They are building a brighter tomorrow. So go help them out. If you need affordable mechanic services, go see my new friend, Ivy. She's going to take care of you. She's going to do good work, and she's going to do it for cheap because that's the American way. And for those of you who are out there listening, I want to remind you, you're an inquisitive mind. You're the one asking the right questions. And we've been talking about a lot of things. We're talking about the cannibals tonight. We're talking about the car thieves and how you can better protect yourselves. The TMR fighting against the National Guard. Don't forget that if you're out in the woods and you find some kind of strange facility or something that doesn't quite, meet the eye right, you gotta get in touch with my good friend Maisie. Make sure she gets that onto her maps. We had our friend Owl come on and share with us some concerning transmissions from the National Guard about these power fluctuations and the like that have been happening. There's just so many things going on. And I have one more scoop for my good friends out there. All of you are still staying tuned into the show. I am so appreciative of you spending your hard-earned time with us here. So without further ado, I'm going to read this last note that was left for me. It says, for the scoop. So here we go. All right. For the scoop. Folks of the QZ. I know we don't always see eye to eye on things, but we need to stop antagonizing each other. We got plenty of other and much more serious threats to worry about. I wasn't sure if I was going to write this, and I wanted to talk about Mr. Fattel. I don't know the rest of the new Ekron folk, but Mr. Fattel is painting folk in a bad light. He's extremely antagonistic and volatile. He's repeatedly riles folks up, and when he shouldn't. Whether it's the National Guard or real or imposters, they have a hell of a lot more firepower and training than most of us. If he keeps stepping on their toes, then we're gonna pay the price. I've tried to reason with him, but he doesn't seem to want to see the reason. I thought folks out there should know, and I don't want good folks to die. Now, this note was signed by Grace. So, Grace, thank you for dropping this off to the scoop and offering for me to share this with the fine people of the county out tonight. And I want to remind all of you to stay tuned into the scoop if you want to stay in the loop, because that's what the scoop is about. It's about keeping you in the loop. And I'm just so grateful that all of you have tuned into tonight's broadcast, have listened to all these wonderful guests, and given them your hard-earned time. With all that being said, we're going to close out tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I am Beef Jet Ski, live from the Goldenrod Inn, and this has been The Scoop.